Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us.
You just got engaged. Now what? Hi, my name is KayPhnae, but all my friends call me Kay. And since you're here, you might as well stay a while because it's a Kiki over here. So welcome and welcome back to my wedding series. So I've already done a proposing to my bridesmaid video. So
You my treacherous little twin, and you know that we locked in, and I love you like my kin.
So if you haven't seen that one, go ahead and just click the card up here and you can go and watch that video. But now let's kind of dial it back because, you know, honestly, it's coming up on, I don't know what it is about like the fall and the winter time, but that's really when people start to get engaged, or that's really when we actually have the wedding starting to pop up. So let's kind of take it down to ground zero, because sometimes, and not all of us, have a full-fledged Pinterest board with everything that we want, the people who we want, just everything lined up. And sometimes even when we do, things don't work out the way we thought they were. Yeah. So let's kind of break it down. You just got engaged. Where do you need to go? What do I do? I just got engaged. What do I do? You pause. You just got engaged. The first thing you need to do, you and your fiance, y'all need to take at least 2 weeks to just enjoy being engaged. Yeah, just enjoy that. Enjoy being engaged. Enjoy talking about the moment, like how it happened, if he surprised you, if she surprised you, like if you kind of felt like it was coming but you didn't know, if you were just, whatever it is, take that time to sit and just kind of enjoy that moment. Enjoy the moment. Because I'm not gonna lie, me and my fiance, we did. We enjoyed it. I had some footage. I would go back and replay it and rewatch it, and I'm like, oh, he loved me, and he do. So I was able to kind of, go back and replay that moment, because that is a happy moment. And sometimes we get so caught up in, okay, dang, I'm engaged, let me start planning my wedding. Baby, calm down, you just got here. So that's the first stop. Enjoy it. Take 2 weeks to just kind of sit and enjoy it. Now, the second thing you need to do is you need to kind of scope the scenery. Like, I know people always say, go with your budget first, find your theme first. No, scope the scenery. See what's going on out there. Especially if you're not a person who goes to a lot of weddings or like have been in weddings or anything like that. Scope the scenery out, girl. See what is out there. And when I say scope the scenery, I'm talking about all of it. Preferably Pinterest. Now, I know people don't really like Pinterest, and we'll get more into that, but preferably Pinterest, because, and you can literally just type in weddings and so much stuff is going to pop up. It's probably going to be information overload if we're going to be for real, but at least that's something that, that's a starting place for you. And through all of that just chaos, you start pinning stuff. What do you like? Because sometimes in our head, like, even if we were those people that had a Pinterest board, some of us made a Pinterest board when we was 21 thinking, I'm going to be married by this time, and life didn't life like that. So that same Pinterest board may not be the one that you want to use right now. So go ahead and see what you like. So you scoping the scenery out, you see what you like. Okay. Then you start pinning stuff. And putting it into little boards, and we know how to make a little Pinterest board. If not, I'm gonna put a little video right here for you how to go in and start pinning stuff to a different Pinterest board, and I'll show you how to do it right there. But just start adding stuff, and it could be something that is probably way out of your budget, something that's just completely over the top, something that you really only like one part of the picture. That's fine. Still pin it, because you're gonna need that idea later on. Okay. So once you've scoped the scenery, number 2, and you kind of seen what you like, now you go to the part that no one wants to talk about. You go to that budget, honey. Yep. You go to your budget. And it is hard. It is hard to like just come up with a number, because how am I supposed to know? How am I supposed to know like what my budget should be if I've never gotten married before? I don't know anybody who's gotten married. I don't really want to ask those questions, because sometimes financial questions are a little iffy for people, so you may not want to ask. So this is what I suggest. You've already gone through and you've already pinned some of the stuff that you like on your Pinterest board. I'm pretty sure you pin a venue type over there, so you know what type of venue that you may be leaning to. You're not married to it, you just may be leaning to it. Look up one of those venues and see what their price point is. Not gonna lie, that budget will humble you very, very quick, but you just need to go and look it up just to see, just to kind of throw it out there, see what it is. Now, I suggest, and I'm no expert, I'm just a girl who is planning her wedding too, and it's been working out well for me, so that's why I want to, give y'all the tea real quick. I suggest whatever the price that venue is, your venue should only be 20% of your budget price. So be mindful of that. So if you find a venue and it's $5,000, your budget cannot be $10,000. Yeah, that's not how that works. So just be mindful. Be mindful of that. So set that budget, and I would go from biggest to smallest on your budget. So your big ones that you really, really need. You can't have a wedding without a venue, because where you're gonna get married. You can't have a wedding without food, because you have to be able to eat. You can't have a wedding without music. Well, you can, but you still need an iPad or a speaker or something like that. You can't have a wedding without somebody to actually marry y'all. So like those things need to be at the very far front of your thinking. So like, yeah, the dress, beautiful, the bridesmaids, all that extra stuff, that's beautiful. But if you don't have a venue for people to go, food for people to eat, music for people to listen to, and when I say venue, I'm including the chairs, the table and the chairs, because see, they don't, child, listen, you'll be surprised. All of that has to go into it. So really sit down and break down that budget, okay? Because that's gonna be your driving factor for everything else. So you've enjoyed your engagement for a good 2 weeks. You've kind of scoped the scenery out on Pinterest, and now you are figuring out that budget. Now, I will say, you take however much amount of time you need to take on that budget to get it done, because nothing else matters if you do not have it in your budget. You hear what I'm saying? If you do not have the money in your budget to get this stuff, nothing else matters. So please, 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 please make sure that you and your partner have sat and talked about the budget, agreed upon the budget, and then divided the budget up. So I talked a little bit earlier, and I follow, I'm subscribed to this lady on YouTube, and I will link her page, her channel down below. She is awesome when it comes to budgeting, and having a budget friendly wedding if you need to. But She breaks it down really, really well. Like, she was one of the people who I actually went to first when I was looking up, okay, like, how do I start a budget and all of that, to start with planning. And it really did help me out. It really did. So getting that budget together, that's gonna be key, honey. That is gonna be key. Honestly, the video can stop here, but we gotta get to the fun stuff. So once you get your budget, now you have to start looking for your vendors. What I am finding out is that, and when I say I'm finding out, it's because I'm still in the process of planning my wedding. We don't get married until next year, 2026. So we're still in the process of it. But what I'm finding is all of my vendors who I have complete and utter trust in are people that I've already known them to do that job, if that makes sense. So like my decorator is somebody that I've already worked with before. My day of coordinator is someone that I've already worked with before. My DJ is someone that I've already worked with before. Our officiant is someone, it's my pastor to my church. So all of my vendors are people who I already trust. Make sure that you get vendors that you can trust. This is going to be a really big day, and not just financially, emotionally as well. And you don't want to be stuck in a situation where you have vendors, but you're not even sure if those vendors are going to show up for you. If they show up, you're not sure how they're going to show up. Like, you just don't want to be in that situation. So make sure that when you're picking them, when you go to meet with them, or whether you do it on Zoom or in person, you feel that connection between them. And if you don't, it's okay to say, thank you for, the time that you spent with us, but we're going to go in a different direction. It is okay, because it's your day. You do not have to worry about anybody else's feelings except your significant other on that day. And if that vendor is not going to work for you and your person, then you can politely tell them thank you, but we're going to go in a different direction. And honestly, I think that's why me and my fiance haven't had a rough time with planning the wedding, because the vendors that we have, like, they're just so awesome. They communicate well. They're upfront about everything. Like, they're sending us itemized invoices so we know exactly what we're paying for. They're sending us deadlines, so when we need to have stuff. They're setting actual times for us to meet so that we can kind of do check-ins. Since our wedding is a little bit further out, we're doing check-ins to make sure that everybody is still on the same page. Communication is really, really big with that, because at the end of the day, you are spending a lot of money with these people. You want to make sure that what you're spending your money for, you actually get. And you don't want to find out the day of that the vendor that you thought you had is not really that girl. Not that day. I know it's not me, because baby, one thing about it, I will cry. I will cry the house down, y'all. I swear. Now, after I finish crying, I'm gonna figure it out and make it work. But I will cry the house down. I will, because not on my wedding day. And that's why I'm trying to save y'all. You know what I'm saying? So make sure that the vendors that you choose, you trust them and they are communicating with you. Because it's okay, stuff happens, but are you communicating that those things are happening? If you were going to be late because life happens, did you communicate with me that you're going to be late? If you have to switch something out because life happens, did you communicate that you have to do that? Because that's the biggest thing. So just make sure that they are people that you trust and they are communicating well with you. And if you really, really like somebody, you think their style is really nice or whatever it is you think is awesome, and you reach out to them and they don't reach back out to you, that's your sign, baby. Go with somebody else. You don't have to chase them. If you're chasing a vendor, you're going to chase them all the way to your wedding day, and it's just going to stress you out. So let's not do that. All right. And then the last and final thing that we'll talk about when we're talking about first steps is your bridal party. Your bridal party is not, and when I say bridal party, I'm talking about bridesmaids and groomsmen. That is not the first thing you choose. because you don't want to go to them half-stepping, if that makes sense. What was the point? What was the point and what was the reason? What was the reason? You didn't even have to come over here and tell me that you want me to be a bridesmaid. We cool. I figured I was going to be a bridesmaid. But I need the info because we all know that it's a nice title and all, but you're going to have to run some coins. We know that, right? You're going to have to run some coins. So make sure that you've gotten your budget, your theme, at least some of the venues down packed so that when you do ask your bridal party to be a part of your day, you can give them the information. So what I would suggest is do not ask anyone to be a part of your bridal party until you at least have a theme of your wedding, a budget for your wedding, and a venue for your wedding. Because they need to know what they're wearing, or at least the style of what they're wearing. What this price point is gonna look like, and then the venue. They need to know that. Now, of course, honorable mention to the actual date, but dates can change. So if you have a date range, that's good, but dates can change. And people are usually flexible about the date changing, but that venue, they need to know where it's going to be at, especially if it's an out-of-state person that's a part of your bridal party. They need to know where it's going to be at. That way, if they have to get a hotel or anything, they can go ahead and do that. And then they need to know that price point, and they need to start looking, because we're not going to act like, sometimes shipping don't be shipping. Shipping is given, like, not only did they have to pack it up and ship it, they literally have to craft it from the gravel on the ground and make that crystallized dress. The amount of time they take for bridesmaids dresses sometimes. So just be aware of that. So those are my tips on how you should start your wedding planning journey. And again, it's gonna be different for everybody. So you kind of do with this information as you will. Take it, with a grain of salt. But I suggest that you really, really hone in on what I said. And if you don't take anything from this video, please, 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 that budget is what needs to drive the whole wedding planning process. I promise, if you keep your budget at the forefront of your planning, it will not be stressful to you. It won't. You know exactly how much you have to spend. You got your idea. You just need to go forth and do it. So if you are on this video, congratulations, because that means that you are engaged and you are about to walk into a beautiful life with your partner. Do not let wedding planning stress you out. It is supposed to be one of the happiest times of your life. For me, it has been, because I have been following the same tips that I'm telling y'all. It's the stuff that I've been following, and it's just been making the planning process so much easier. So much easier. So again, this is a series where we talk about wedding planning as I lead up to my big day as well. So if you like this type of content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And hopefully we'll have another video up for you soon. So see you next time, babe. Congratulations.